I know that's a good view. You have the trees in the middle, and you have the snow. It's really nice, but you do have the sunset, which is gonna set in I'd say 25 minutes. So it's not gonna be the longest video today I'm gonna record, but it is gonna be something. And today I want to talk about something which I thought for I'd say 20 years of my life was not really a big deal until it became a big deal. And that is being Indian. I'm an Indian. My grandparents, all four of them were born in India. All of my heritage is Indian 100%. And I was born in Europe. My parents were born in Europe as well. So I'm a second generation immigrant. So as most second generation immigrants, I don't know my local language, which is something I'm trying to change. My local language would be Sindhi, and Hindi, the national, well, to be considered the national language of India. And I don't know both. I know many languages, but I do not know any of those two, which is quite weird. But it is something I'm trying to change, and I will change 100%. But before we do get into that, I just want to talk about, before we start the whole process of talking about how I was in Europe and all this, I wanted to talk about quickly about the snow. The snow is really beautiful today. It makes me happy. It's quite interesting. I come from a very warm area where we do not have snow. At least like in the cities, and I'd say 90% of the area I live in, there is no snow, and you barely get to see snow. Maybe once a year, and that is like up in the mountains, not where I live. So I always said like, oh, I want to live where like there's snow when you walk out, it's all snowy, it's nice. Now that I've moved to somewhere where it is like this, there is snow. It's kind of weird. I actually find it kind of annoying. It was nice for a bit, you know. I had my first snow fight. I still haven't built a snow how you call it, a snowman. I tried skiing. I was horrible at it, and yeah, I just always said like, oh, I want snow, and now there is snow. I'm like, it's kind of annoying for day-to-day life, you know. I'm just trying to go to the supermarket, and there's just a lot of ice. But yeah, it's actually kind of nice though. It's nice, but not the best thing. Like, if there was no snow, I wouldn't care, and if there is snow, it's just like there, you know. But it's really beautiful view. You get to see the sun. I mean, the sunset at the end. The pink colors of a winter sunset, which I find absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite things on this planet Earth. Just looking at the sunset and seeing the pink, orange colors in the distance. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hold on. Just there. So yeah, there's snow, and it's very nice, I would say. I mean, yeah. So let's get to the point of the video, which is being from India, which is what? Anyways, all that is out here. Point of the video is being from India and how it affected me. So where I was born, I spoke the local language, of course, and I was kind of the odd one out. There were pretty much no immigrants where I live. At least you never really see immigrants. Most of them were immigrants, maybe from Germany or from England, but they were white, and they spoke the local language with a local accent. So you know, they just kind of blend in. You just be like, oh, like you just walk around the street. He speaks the local language. He looks like he's meant to be here. Looks like he's one of us, you know. But I'm more brown, I'd say. I do stick out a bit more, I'd say. So from the very beginning, I knew that like I stick out in a classroom full of local white people. I'm not white, so um, there was always that like idea of why am I different? Why am I not like everyone else? And I remember a specific moment of just sitting in class and just looking at someone and just saying, why was I not born white with, just white skin color into a white house? So there were like from very early, I'd say, signs of not fitting in. Their dog's barking, but yeah, there were signs of not fitting in, feeling left out, I'd say. Maybe not left out, but feeling a bit more excluded because of my skin color. So it wasn't traumatizing. It was like maybe people were speaking behind my back, and just saying like, oh, he's different. Oh, why is he here? Like he clearly doesn't belong to us. Maybe people were saying that, but they wouldn't say it to my face. So most of the time I just say like, oh, I don't feel excluded, like I'm kind of part of everyone. They all treat me the same, or so I thought, or so I felt, and I think it was like that. There were moments of just casual racism, or like, oh, you're from India, huh? Street food, huh? All this stupid stuff. But it was like, okay, that's not enough to really traumatize me or affect me day to day. But then at the age of 20, I moved to Czech Republic, Prague, a mainly white country, a very white country, an ex-Slavic country, an ex-communist country, if I believe, if my history is correct. And it's a country where people are quite against people who aren't white. You're white, you can be from any country, as long as you kind of fit in, you look white, you look Slavic, you're fine. But as soon as you aren't, you're kind of like seen differently, especially by older people, I'd say. Older people do see you a bit more like, why are you in my country? They do have that mindset. Younger people, I'd say not as much, but older people do. So I remember I moved there. It was like the second day I was there, and I experienced something which kind of like shocked me, I'd say. I was in the supermarket and I had bought some things for my new apartment. It was a student dorm. I just wanted to buy like some sugar, some olive oil, like the basics. So I buy all this stuff with my dad because he had helped me move in. And I'm just putting everything in a bag. And a woman behind me, an older woman, of course white, just bumps me with her shopping cart and just says like, move away, like I'm trying to put my stuff into my shopping cart. And I just think like, damn, is it that serious? Like, why? And thing is, I deal with stuff mainly just by laughing it out. Like, I don't take stuff that seriously unless I try to sit down and reflect on it. But when something happens to me, I'm like, it's kind of funny, it's a funny situation. But so yeah, I did laugh it out, but after thinking about it and like properly sitting down, I just said like, I think if I was white, that would have not happened. So that was like the first moment of like, okay, I'm outside of my home country. I don't speak the local language. I don't fit in that much. So I felt a bit weird at the beginning, and that's where I started learning about like racism and actually just feeling the sensation of being the odd one out, and people expressing that, because back home people wouldn't express it. Maybe they did behind my back, I don't really care, to be honest. But when they do it to my face, and just had that incident the first 2 days that I had moved into the country, it was kind of weird. It was an experience, I'd say. So So yeah, it was just a bit different. I'm trying to think about other situations that I had. I didn't really have that many situations. I do have a couple in mind, but I'm not gonna go into detail with those. Um, they're just quite similar to these situations of a situation that happened to me where I was badly treated, and I just say like, if I was white, I don't think that would have happened. So the point being that yeah, I felt kind of like, oh, I am not very welcome here by some people, and it is a right country. It's not very like left, as in politically. So yeah, they do not really like immigrants. Even though I'm from EU and can legally reside there however long I want. But yeah, I don't think they like that. Or they like sit down and think, oh, this person's brown. Does he have a European passport? And if he doesn't, does he live here legally? So I don't think they really care. They just say, oh, brown person, you're not welcome here. So I did meet some people there, and I had my group of friends, and we were a very diverse group. We were people from all around the world, super diverse, and I felt very welcome there. I didn't have any issues, any racist problems, or so. I think no one said anything to my face, at least. So, you know, I was okay there. I didn't have any issues, and I continued living there with that thought at the back of my mind, but still just happy. Like, it was a very nice experience. I can't complain about Prague. I love the city. It's one of my favorite cities I've ever been in and lived in. So then I moved to another city, Austria, as in Austria, and I mean capital city Vienna. So it's a bit more different here, I'd say. World War II happened here, and they were very racist, I'd say. Germans as well. So I was just thinking, okay, is anything gonna happen to me because of that? And the first, I'd say 6 months, nothing really. I had my friends. They would obviously just joke around like, oh, you're brown. Yeah, they would just joke around like, oh, you know, street food, typical things like, oh, poop cheek, you don't shower, deodorant, typical things that you see on social media as well. So I was like, okay, it was kind of annoying, but eventually they left the country, and I just ended up having more normal friends who were like who don't say those type of things. I don't mind it. It's kind of funny. Like, I mean, it's not funny, but it's like they make fun of it, and it's like I make fun of them for other things. So it's like it's kind of cancels out, you know. It's like guy stuff. So then I did have an encounter with a neo-Nazi. That was kind of crazy. Yeah. He came up to me on the metro and was like, you're racist against whites. And I just thought like, I'm racist against whites? What the hell? Genuinely, I was shocked. I literally just started laughing, but then he tried to fight me. So I just ended up leaving. And they tried to fight some other people who were Turkish. Just very stupid things. So that was like something that happened, but it I don't see it as like something that affects me, because the thing about racism is many people won't care about being treated differently by people who aren't okay in the head. But the problem stems from when people treat you differently, who are like okay in society, I'd say. People who are like just normal people you see around the street, and they just maybe look at you differently, or when you smile at them, they just think like, what are you doing? And oh wow, the sunset. It's really nice. It's very beautiful. I really like looking at the sky. We've had many days of snow and just gray skies. I mean, the whole winter, I'd say. So seeing the sun is very nice. I mean, the sky, just the blue sky. I see the moon over there as well, just up there. So where was I? Sorry. Yeah, neo-Nazi guy. The problem is in like someone who's like just obviously out of his head. I don't really care. Like, you're gonna say things that are gonna be hurtful to everyone. I don't really care. But the problem stems from when someone who's just okay or like normal just treats you differently just because of your skin color. Because that's where you think like, I really just don't feel welcome here. Should I just leave? And I've had many encounters like that. Not many, or at least I feel like they weren't 100% because of my skin color, but I feel like I've been treated differently because I'm still learning the local language. I'm still learning German. It's okay. I'd say it's B1 level, but I still can't like be 100% fluent with it. So people see me struggle with German, they see me brown, and they think like, oh, this person is a typical refugee who's trying to seek asylum and just live off our benefits and like our taxed money. At least that's how I feel like it is, because there's many refugees here, Turkish people, Arab people, and honestly these people are quite nice. I'd say the older people are very nice. They're very calm, relaxed. The younger generation can be a bit rowdy. They just are on the metro or like just on the street shouting, screaming, making noise, just being rowdy. Typical kid stuff, but it's different here with Austrian kids and Arab kids. They do act very differently. But Arab people are very nice here. But you do have the typical case of someone who's moved here and is not okay, who's escaped their country to just try and make money and live comfortably, but it's too late for them, as in like they just think that, how do I put this, that like, oh, I don't care anymore, I just want to do things that aren't okay and get away with it. And many immigrants do this, and I think if we sit down with these people and just listen to them, we would have a bit of empathy with them and think, oh, this person has gone through a lot. I understand a bit more their actions. They're wrong. We do have these typical one-off cases of maybe a brown person or a Muslim person who does something really wrong in society and that causes damage to others, that goes worldwide and creates a stigma for brown people of these immigrants are dangerous, these immigrants steal, kill, hurt, and that's a really bad stigma to give to a really big population of the people, because of course everyone's not like that. You have these one-off cases. You have people who have struggled for a lot of their time and are not okay mentally. They need help, and the help is not given to them, because I feel like in this society these people are not cared about. They may be on the street begging for help, and you'd have 200 people walk by them. People can give them money. Like, money's not the issue. It's who would sit down with them and say, hey, I'll give you 5 minutes of my time, just 5 minutes, everyone has 5 minutes. I'll sit down with you, just tell me about your life. What are struggles you've been through, and how can I help you with that? Just doing that can help so much, and that's what I always try and do. You can always see homeless people and give money, but just be nice to them. Even a small act of kindness can help them push towards better. I think they'd much more appreciate someone give them 50 cents and a nice conversation that inspires them than just give them €1 and just be like, oh, just pass by, throw the coin and just not even look at them. not even look at them in the eyes like if they're not a human being. And I think this really causes a lot of the problems that have been happening recently, especially in Germany, I'd say. There are a lot of cases of this, and it's really sad. And now with social media as well. Social media is another one I want to talk about. How it led to a lot of racism against Indians specifically. This is the main subjects of. You see these videos of street food, of it being unhygienic. Maybe I'd even say borderline just disgusting, and just not sanitary. And many of these videos are just artificial intelligence, just made to put down Indians and make fun of them. Many of them are not. Many of them are just unsanitary practices in India, because of course it's a completely different life that is not westernized, and that's what people don't understand, that the whole world does not need to be westernized and be up to their standards, that there is poverty in a lot of this world, and these people do not have the luxuries that they live with. They do not always have a heating to turn on when it's cold outside, or a proper mattress to lie down on when you've had a long day. And it's a different budget to be able to spend for your food. Food is cheap over there. Of course, when you pay 50 cents for a whole plate of food, you don't expect it to be a Michelin starred plate. That makes sense. So people bash on about that. They bash on about Indians smelling bad, not using deodorant, all of this. And you really see it, just people online being really hateful towards Indians. And it's a common practice of just white people hating on other people who aren't white. They just hate on Indians, hate on Turkish people, hate on Arabs. Even during COVID, they hated on Chinese people. And it's really stupid, like, you're just being blatantly racist. But you think it's okay because you're behind a screen on social media posting about this stuff, commenting these things, these just rude things, where I think 99% of these people, if their parents saw these comments, they wouldn't be very happy with how they've raised their child. That's my opinion. So a lot of this social media, you're like, oh, it's just social media, it's just fun and jokes. But the problem that people don't understand is these things transfer to the real world. These racist comments that people see on social media, a 15-year-old is seeing it on his phone, like, oh, Indians are disgusting. He goes to school and sees an Indian. Do you think he's going to treat him with respect? Or he's going to copy the things he sees on social media? The app that they probably spend hours a day on, seeing the same repetitive content, because social media is just repetitive content once and just over and over again. So what do you think? Option A is going to be nice to him, just treat him like another equal, or option B, he's going to follow social media and treat him differently, say nasty things? I'm going for option B, to be honest. So these things do transfer to the real world, especially with the younger generation, where their brain is more, I'd say, that their brain is still adapting to things they see around themselves, and just still learning. It is a very beautiful sight, with the snow, the blue lights of the sky, as in, like, it's already past sunset, but it's still on nighttime. And I love this moment, because this moment is so short. It's probably like half an hour. In maybe half an hour, 20 minutes, it's gonna be dark. But I like how it's still, like, it's about to be dark, but it's still not. Like, take a couple more minutes of light, not much, take a bit more, and then it's gonna be nighttime. I really like this. It's very beautiful. So yeah, social media does affect many people's brains, younger people and older people. I'd say that after the social media boom of just hateful towards Indians, I've experienced much more stuff like this. And I'd say there are three types of racism. There's talking behind someone's back. When maybe you like see an Indian and just go to your friends and say like, oh, I saw this Indian guy, oh, like, and he smelled bad. It could be things that are real or invented or whatever you want, but just talking behind that person's back and just judging them off their skin color, that's really wrong. That is really, really wrong, and promotes hate, which nowadays is just normalized to hate other people. That promotes hate. The second type of racism I would say is social media racism. Just like you're behind a screen that doesn't really matter, you know. It's like, oh, he's not gonna say anything to me, you know, like I don't really care, so I'm just gonna be racist. Many people say the N-word, white people on social media. It's like, oh, they even get praised for it. I've seen that's insane to me, you know, being hateful towards black people that have suffered through so much, and just be praised for it. That's crazy. Hate on these people and just call them slurs. Anyways, so you have hating on people's back, behind people's back, social media, and the third one is the worst one I would say, which is face to face, which is just saying words to people's back, to people's face, like, hey man, like, or just comments like, man, like, I don't think you're welcome here because of your skin color, or just things that aren't normal to say in a conversation, or like, I want to punch you, you fucking Indian, or something like that. Just hateful. People saying mean things, threatening people, and even hurting people because of their skin color. I'd say those are the three types of racism, which I would say most people who aren't white will struggle throughout their lives. I've had all three, so yeah, I think that's quite normal, and it's really sad that it's normalized. And you know, you'd say, oh, racism, that's an old thing, you know, that's where people had slaves and they would be treated with no respect. Nowadays it's okay to not be white. Oh, that's normal. But these aggressions still do exist, and with social media they're growing much more to being very hateful, which is not something very positive, I would say. So my experience as being an Indian in Europe has been more recently just being treated different. Like, I sometimes think, if I was white, would this event happen to me the same way it did, as it does happen now? And sometimes I think about that, and other times I think I'm different and I need to embrace it. And I think that's the conclusion I've come to, which is embrace my culture, my heritage, my skin color, because my skin color is beautiful. People who are white always say, oh, I want to be tanned. Oh, I'm tanned all year round, so that's, I don't know, maybe people hate it, maybe people love it. That was a bird. Oh yeah, it's right on top of me. Hold on, let me show you guys. He's right there, and he just left. I love the nature. We're just part of nature, just that we have now built big cities and industrial things that has damaged the lifestyle of other animals. Whole different subject. So what I was saying was, I'm falling in love with my heritage, slowly learning about my heritage, my culture, my ethnicity, how life is there. And I've never traveled to India, and that is a goal that I have, which is to travel to where my heritage is from, learn about that place, and be more connected to it. Just really learn about where I'm from, because I feel like a lot of my heritage has been lost through me, because my parents speak the native language from where I'm from, but I don't. They said, oh, the local language where you're from, it's a dead language, you don't need to learn it. That's okay, but Hindi is, as in my local language, is like a small language spoken in an area of India, because India is very diverse and has many languages. But where I'm from, that language is barely spoken anymore. But Hindi is one of the best languages you can know nowadays. It's spoken worldwide, pretty much everywhere, and it's a super good language to have. It's like knowing Spanish in USA, I'd say. It's just a good language to get around. And you know, when you talk to these people who always feel excluded because they can't talk their main language. That's something that always happens to immigrants. They can't talk their main language to everyone. They have to live on another language, which is maybe harder for them. Maybe a language that they learned just a little bit ago or are still learning, and it's really a struggle to just constantly speak in a language that you don't speak in. And it's just really stressful. So speaking their local language is just really good, and I assure you that they'd always smile and be happy and just be very loving towards you, just because of the fact that you speak their local language. I assure that. So yeah, I've learned a lot of lessons throughout the bad moments. I think it's very important to learn to find the lesson in obstacles. So I've definitely done that, and I'm putting it to action. I'm planning on continuing learning. I already am. When I have the time. It's my schedule is quite busy, but I always try and fit in moments to just sit down and study my heritage, because I think it's something that I don't want it to get lost throughout time, or at least through my generation. I maybe can't talk for my kids, for my grandkids or for my grandkids, whatever. But I'll try and learn my heritage, learn about my heritage, learn my local language, and pass it on towards my kids as well. Make sure they speak the local language, make sure they know about our religions, our customs, just our heritage, what we are as people, our values, and so on. So I wasn't really taught that as a child, so I think teaching it to myself nowadays, it's really beautiful. And I talk to my parents and I'm like, oh, I'm learning the local language, so just talk to me in the local language, and they do, and it's like, it's kind of cool, you know. I don't know, it's a side of my parents that I have not gotten to meet, of them talking in the like talking to them in their local language, which is also my local language. It's not my local language, I wasn't born in India, but it's my heritage language, which is, Hindi isn't also my heritage language, but you get me. It's the language mostly known in India, which is a very important language. So yeah, that's something that I will continue doing. And thank you for listening to my experience of being Indian in Europe, racism events, and how we can fight these moments. Just promote love. Just be nice. Have kind actions. These sound like things that you've heard all the time, but it's things that people don't actually put into action, and that's the problem. So just try and be nice to someone around you, whoever it may be, and just be nice. It could even be an animal. Just be nice. you'll see how your mood will change, and slowly this can affect the world as well, and it can make the world a much better place.